Cal, Spennymoor Town first up this Saturday, our opening game of the new National League North season. How have preparations gone for you leading up to that game?
I think there's a change after the last pre-season game. I think you can feel that, and I think it's you can feel that on the training ground, in the sessions building up to the first game, and there's an excitement, there's a recognition of the work that you've done already during that pre-season period, and an excitement generally about the season starting, because pre-season is what it is. You get what you get out of the games. You do a lot of work on the pitch, off the pitch, and it is building towards that first game and then the 45 after. And what I've always found sort of so remarkable is there are 46 games that you're getting ready for, and the opening day is your first opportunity to put points on the board. But after that, like you say, there's going to be a lot of games, a long season, a really important season ahead. So we want to look towards the first game, but then we want to look sort of to what's beyond as well, and the campaign on the whole, that you haven't just been preparing for the first game, you've been preparing for everything that comes after that. A busy spell, certainly at the start of the season, but the focus this week has been entirely on Spennymoor. Real tough opposition, probably as tough as an opening day game as you could ask for, travelling to the northeast, a side that have traditionally been in and around the playoffs, had an unbelievable second half of the campaign. I think the work that Graham did to get them right in amongst it from the position they were in, and they'll be looking to build on that this campaign. Some of the best players in the division, a real test, and they're the tests that we want, and the tests that certainly have brought the best out of us. So we're really looking forward to it. We've enjoyed the work this week on the training ground, and looking forward to getting going back in league action on Saturday. Back in league action, of course, after 7 pre-season tests, all slightly different in one way or another. How do you evaluate pre-season as a whole? Did you get everything you wanted out of it as well? Yes, I've really enjoyed it. I know I speak for the staff that we're really pleased with where we're at and what we've done. The pre-season period seems to start as soon as the previous season finishes, and your first focus is on recruitment. I've spoken openly about how pleased I am with the recruitment that we've done. We were really targeted in what we wanted to do, but that isn't worth anything on its own. I feel like we've brought real quality to the football club. We've upgraded the areas we wanted to upgrade. The dynamic of the group that we wanted to have, we've got, and we've added that experience that I think we talked about some months ago. But that's nonsense till the balls start rolling, and everything can look great on paper. Pre-season can look great, signings can look great on paper. That's totally irrelevant. Fundamentally, we need those players to go and deliver out on the pitch, along with the players that we retained of what was a decent core of a group. So we were pleased with that, pleased with how the groups come together off the pitch, and a lot of work goes into that, and it develops day to day, week to week. And then, like you say, those friendlies, totally different tests, chasing the ball around against Stoke and Stockport to some extent, with some good spells in the second half. Really pleased with the 𝗲𝗲𝗃𝗃 and what the whole thing was. I think that was brilliant. It was brilliant for the club. Thought it showed the best parts of what we're about, and enjoyed seeing that bond begin to form between the supporters and the team, because that's so important, and you can see that was beginning to build. And then the game since, different feelings on different performances, but generally pleased with the block of work that we've done, and I feel like we go into the start of the season with a clean bill of health for the first time in my time at the club. A good group, a group that recognises where we want to go and what we want to do, and a group that is really proud to play for this football club and are ready to give absolutely everything to get the football club where we want to be. It'll be tough. We know what's required, all of us, me in that as well. You're constantly learning as you go in this job. I don't think anyone's above that. I don't think that's an age thing or an experience thing. Now, 2 years in, recognise what's worked, what hasn't worked, what's required in the division, what's required to be at Chester, and the unique dynamic that brings. And we've been able to put all those things in place in pre-season, so really ready for the talking to stop, for the balls to roll. But yeah, happy when I look at the 6 or 7 week period, but I'll probably only be happy with it if there's 3 points on Saturday. Probably reflect on pre-season with a little bit more of a fondness if it brings about a win on the opening day on Saturday.
I know the fixtures always provide the usual cliches. You play everyone twice, there's 46 games in a random order, but picking apart that opening 4, it is a tough start, isn't it? I mean, you talked about that Spennymoor game and the challenges that will pose, Brackley, your first home game, beating playoff finalists. Radcliffe have got all the momentum of their promotion, and then Alfreton, which is a unique away test as any in this division.
You know what? I remember sitting down with the staff, and when you look at what fixtures you want, you're right. It is 23 homes, 23 aways on a mixture of Saturday, Tuesday and bank holidays, and you can almost overthink that and get a bit too wrapped up. I wanted a tough start, and you'll remember some of those conversations that in the last 2 seasons those games have brought the best out of us, so I wanted to go to a 𝗀𝗶𝘃𝗃𝗃, say, in the opening 6 games and everything that brings, and play Brackley on the back of how close they were to getting promoted last year, and they're always tough games. And you look at the sides that were playing, and you're quite right to pick those opening 4. They are 4 sides that should be in the playoffs. Should be, and I deliberately use that phrase, not could be, not potentially. It's going to be a tough division, but we wanted those. I wanted an away on the opening day, so I'm really, really pleased. And I think I'm in the minority, by the way, but I was quite clear that we wanted to have a start that would require the best version of ourselves, because that's what's going to be required for 46 games. And like I said, they don't come much tougher than going to the North East and Spennymoor on the opening day. Then Brackley coming here, who I just think are a fantastic set of players, fantastic football team, and you really had the feel after we played them that they'd been promoted and were going to get promoted and were there or thereabouts. For them to come here early doors, that'll be a really tough test. Radcliffe flown through the division below. A lot of their players that we know so well that have done really well for us. Management team that we know so well that have been promoted before, and like I say, going to Alfreton, which I'm sure will be the beautiful game. It'll be the ball on the floor and a game of both teams trying to play through the thirds. So 4 sides there, yeah, that we're going to up against playoff opposition from day one. We need to deal with that. There is a pressure at this football club. There's an expectation and an ambition that we want to get promoted, and it needs to become the reality. We're not going to be a club that boasts a top 7, top 8 budget. Deal with it. Deal with it from the manager's point of view. Find a way. And I look at the start that we've got, and if we want to keep the pace with some of those clubs early doors, the best version of ourselves, from 3 o'clock on Saturday against Spennymoor into those opening 4, let that opening 4 become an opening 6 and an opening 12, and then all of a sudden you're at the halfway point before you know it in this division. Let's not have a slow start. Let's not feel our way into it. Let's hit the ground running, and the best way, in my opinion, the best way to do that is have those challenges early doors, and we've certainly got them. So we relish, and I think this group will relish that bit of pressure. They'll relish the expectation around where we want to be, and like I said earlier, just can't wait for that to start on Saturday, and then that is the start of a season. The opening day isn't a standalone game. It isn't we win on Saturday and everything's great, we disappoint on Saturday and we're written off for it. No, it's the start of what is going to be a really testing campaign, and we certainly can't wait to get going.
No doubt there'll be hundreds and hundreds of Seals travelling to the North East on Saturday. They'll be really important to your season as well, won't they? Obviously they've done their part so far with the season ticket sales, boost the budget, the excitement that generates when you can bring in the likes of Conor Rawlinson, 𝗀𝗲𝘃𝗃𝗃𝗃, and the feelings that they get from that. They've played a part in that ultimately. They'll be so important once again this year, won't they?
I think there's loads of strands to that, and you could almost fill an entire interview, an entire media section on the way our fans support us. First and foremost, you're quite right to touch upon the boost the budget stuff. They enabled us to sign 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 on a season-long loan. They enabled us to sign Conor Rawlinson. We can't compete with some of the top enders. Plenty of clubs that would say that we can, but we can't quite. And there is perhaps a perception of where we're at financially that isn't the reality, and that's great. That's the nature of being at Chester, and there is an element of that around the division, that we are among the biggest clubs in the division, and that attracts a level of interest and then creates a level of expectation. Brilliant. I'd rather be here and have that around our club, but that is the reality. Our fans put the hand in the pocket for, like you say, the boost the budget campaign, but enormous amount of season tickets. Can't wait to see them really healthy crowds for the pre-season games, and then every Cestrian man and his accompanying Cestrian dog were out in the Isle of Man demonstrating what makes this club what it is. But then you talk about the numbers that travel. No side in the division travels like us, and we'll need that. It makes a massive difference Really looking forward to seeing that on Saturday, because I know those away followings, the club have done it, the supporters of the club have done it time and time again, and there's some real exciting ones to look forward to this year. I can picture the supporters going through the fixtures. Is that a Saturday? Is that a Tuesday? What's the bank holiday games? And we know they'll back us. And in the same way, I want the Diva to be a place where our supporters back us and recognise how important they are at home, that in these games, this is a massive football club with a massive fan base, but that alone doesn't get us any points. I haven't quite met a referee yet who before the game is going to award us a 1-0 head start because we get 2,000 fans and some get 300. But it needs to enable us to get those points and the atmosphere that the supporters can create away from home, but here as well. But look, first and foremost, I need to put a football team out on the pitch that are worth getting behind and worth generating an atmosphere to back, and that responsibility rests with me. So we need to be a team at home that are dynamic and play forwards and are in and around the 18-yard box, that are a threat from set plays, all the things that we demand of a team. We need to be a team that wins. It can't always be the beautiful game, it can't always be entertaining. That's been the debate of the summer, hasn't it, with the Euros. For me, it's winning football first and foremost, but if I ask, and I do ask, for the backing of the supporters for the team and the atmosphere that that creates and the environment that that can create for opposition, that positivity, that energy will first and foremost the football team to bring that on the pitch, and then the supporters need to go from that. It isn't, you can never ask for it the other way around, and I'm really clear of that. So we'll need them during the season, because it's going to be a tough division. It's going to be a testing campaign. We have something with our supporters that so many clubs don't have. But you know what they have in us is a team that will give everything. Everything. I can never promise success, can never guarantee results, but I can make everyone aware that I believe in the group in terms of quality, but I know they will give absolutely everything on match day 1, on match day 46, to reward the supporters for their backing, for their contributions. But we'll need them, and we'll need them starting Saturday. And I use that phrase that I've used so many time and time again. When it's good, enjoy it. It's the best feeling. It's the best feeling, and I feel it twice. I feel it as someone that's grown up around the club and around the city, and then I feel it as just any other football manager as well. Those wins are the best feeling, the best, especially those ones on the road and when the place is rocking here. And when it's tough, I don't think I want to say stick with us anymore, because that's a given, because they always have. Back us more, play your part, contribute even more, whether it is that support, that vocal support, those numbers. No matter how good a season we have, there will be some wobbles along the way, and there'll be opportunities where those supporters can really make a difference. Do that, because no other club can do it like us.
And as I check my watch at the time of recording, we are about 48 hours away now from that opening game of the season. Final question, are you looking forward to it?
Yes, yeah, more than ever. 3 seasons in, aware of what's been good, what's been bad, and even some ugly in there as well. Different feelings at the start of my first season here, different feelings 12 months ago. I can speak for myself of absolutely focused, well aware of what we've done well in the past and well aware of what we've done wrong. It's very easy in this job to blame everyone else, blame players, blame officials, blame the opposition for trying to win, blame supporters, blame everyone. No, you have to take responsibility for everything, and I relish that. I'm so excited to be at this club where there is expectation. With what's been created in the last few years, is the way people speak about us, that promotion now doesn't seem far-fetched, it seems like something we can achieve. I'm excited that we've put together a group that people believe in, but that we recognise there are still some challenges and some barriers to success that we have to overcome. Like I said, we're a big fish in this league, and we attract a level of interest. When we win a game, it's because we're full-time. If we train 3 mornings, people will make out we train for 4. If we spend £1, people will make out we spend £3. Relish that, and I hope our supporters relish that, and that's why we need them from within. We need that strength, that real commitment and belief in what we're going to do. I've never felt as fresh, speaking for myself, of really pleased with the business that we've done and the targeted work that we've been able to do during pre-season. But talk's cheap. I'm going to give absolutely everything from Saturday, the way that's all I've ever known, how to do that. Not just in my time at this club, that's in my nature. Feel like I've learnt a lot and recognised in some difficult spells how you have to be, and you don't know how you're going to deal with that until you're in them spells. But excited about the expectation, excited that ambitions can be a reality, but really focused on the task at hand, that we're not going to have it all our own way. It's going to be the toughest National League North, certainly in the last 3 seasons, but we feel well equipped, we feel prepared, we feel like we know what's required, and we can't wait to get started. So yeah, looking forward to it, yeah, focused, refreshed, ready to go, and so excited for the season ahead. Bring it on.